Lesson 13. Notes on vocabulary usage. In this lesson, we're going to see إلا, not to, negation. ما زال, still. لسه, still. افتكر, يفتكر, to think. ظن, يظن أن, to think. And conjugations of verbs with wa in the root in the present tense of form 1. This is going to be fun.
This video was brought to you by the Critical Language Service. To learn more about our Arabic courses taught via Skype and telepresence to schools, colleges, and homeschool groups, visit our website at www.criticallanguageservice.com.
The particle ألا, not to. To express not to in Arabic, you negate the particle أن. أن as in قررت أن أعيش في بيت الطلاب. I decided to live in the student housing. So we want to negate this N. How do we go about it? We use ألا. Where did ألا come from? ألا is actually made up the two particles N plus لا. N again plus, to make it clear, plus لا. لا, as you know, is the negation particle. N is the particle that we're trying to negate. So ألا is the combination of N plus لا, and it becomes ألا. You cannot say أن لا, so it's easier to say ألا, and this is how we come up with ألا, not to. Another way to think about it is that we got rid of the noon. ألا, ألا, and stress the la. ألا is originally N. La, that when we drop the noon, it becomes ألا. So again, to negate N, you use the particle ألا. To negate N, you use ألا. Easy. So how do we use it in real life? How do you use it in this sentence? So we have, if we wanted to negate قررت أن أعيش في بيت الطلاب, and we want to negate N, of course, what we do is replace N with ألا. So it becomes قررت ألا أعيش في بيت الطلاب. I decided not to live in the student housing. Another example is that we're going to negate أفكر أن أسافر إلى الشرق الأوسط هذه السنة. So I'm thinking about going to the Middle East this year. How do we negate this? Yes, we replace أن with ألا. أفكر ألا أسافر إلى الشرق الأوسط هذه السنة. I'm thinking about not going to the Middle East this year. Not to go to the Middle East this year. And now let's look at the word to think and its equivalents in Arabic. Just like English, to think has different meanings and so different words. The first meaning is ظن يظن, as in I think that, so you express an opinion. أظن أن اللغة العربية لغة سهلة جدا, and I do. I think that Arabic is a very easy language. You should think the same. The other meaning is فكر في, or to think about something. So I'm thinking about taking Arabic. أنا أفكر في دراسة اللغة العربية. In English, we use the verb to think to mean two different activities, to give opinions, and to consider, ponder, or mull over a course of action. In Arabic, each of these activities is expressed using a different verb. So as we said before, to give an opinion or express a belief, people usually use the verb ظن يظن أن. So we have the example أظن أن هذا الموضوع صعب جدا. I think that, so you are giving an opinion, I think that this subject is very difficult. And we conjugate to think ظن, ظننت, as a verb and with every pronoun, like a verb. But what you need to know is that ظن has two stems in the past, so that you have the ones in red and the one in orange. And as you can see, the difference is sometimes it has two noons or one. So أنا ظننت أن, I thought that. أنت ظننت أن, أنتِ feminine ظننتِ أن, and أنتم ظننتم أن, and these are all with the first stem where you have two noons. The other stem goes with هو ظن أن, هي ظنت أن, نحن ظننا أن, and هم ظنوا أن. And actually in the second stem the noon doesn't go, but as you can see here there's a shadda, which means that this noon is doubled, but it has been combined into one noon and replace the second noon with a shadda. ظن and ظننت. Two noons, one is obvious, like here, and the other is replaced with a shadda. And an Egyptian speaker would say أفتكر instead of ظننت in standard Arabic. It's not the same as أفكر في, it's أفتكر, and it means the same as أظن, I think that, to express a belief. So you have an example here. بفتكر إن الموضوع ده صعب قوي. I think that this subject is very difficult. And now let's look at to think as I'm thinking about something. أفكر في, thinking as a process. And the verb فكر في is used both in spoken and in standard Arabic. And notice the use of the preposition في, which equals to about something. Example, we have أريد أن أفكر في الموضوع أكثر قبل أن أقرر. I want to think about the subject more before I decide. And in spoken Arabic it's the same word. عايزة أريد أن أفكر في الموضوع أكتر قبل ما أقرر. It's basically the same sentence, and both in standard and spoken Arabic we use أفكر في to express I'm thinking or I want to think about something. أريد أن, I want to think. عايزة أفكر, أريد, I want to think about subject more. And now let's talk about filler words. So when you're speaking in English, you would use words like I don't know, like. So these are all filler words. In Arabic we have the same, and it's يعني, which is the equivalent of like. So if you are in a classroom and the teacher asks you a question and you want to buy yourself some time, or just like English when you fill out the gap with like, you would say يعني. أنا عايزة, يعني أمشي. You don't abuse it, but you use it too, so you don't have a lot of silent gaps when you sound like you don't know what you're saying. يعني is the equivalent of like, the filler word in English. Now let's see how verbs with wa in the root are conjugated in the present tense of form 1. In formal Arabic, verbs whose jadr root begins with wa lose the wa in the present tense of form 1. Verbs like وجد يجد. So as you can see in المضارع, this is the past, وجد, he found. In the present, يجد. So what would have been وجد in the past in the مضارع becomes أجد. أنا أجد as opposite to وجدت in the past. أجد. أنت تجد. أنت تجدين. هو يجد. هي تجد. نحن نجد. أنتم تجدون. هم يجدون. As you can see, وجد, he found in the past. In the مضارع, we get rid of the wow and replace it with whatever the pronoun, the prefix that goes with every pronoun. ألف for أنا, تا for أنت, تا and ياء نون for أنتِ feminine, ياء تا for هو and هي, and so on.
If you found this screencast helpful, please let us know by giving us feedback on YouTube or via email. Your feedback helps us to improve our lessons for the future.